Hey, this is the Kubeflow community meeting for the 25th of March 2025. Um, we're 1 week from KubeCon, I think, a little bit under that, so we'll talk a little bit about that. The CNCF code of conduct applies to the meeting, so be nice to each other. Since some people have to leave soon, I'm just going to let Andre quickly go into his what he's doing at KubeCon and what we're doing at KubeCon in general.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
feel free to take away.
Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, hi everyone. So just a few things I want to talk about related to KubeCon. So next week is the conference. So first of all, we're going to have the Kubeflow Summit starting in, I believe, April 1st. So maybe I can provide the link here in this meeting notes so folks can, follow the agenda. So in this Kubeflow Summit, we're going to have half-day events. I believe, Matthew, if you can click the schedule is to start from 1:25. Yeah, the first link was correct one.
Okay.
Uh,
Mhm.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, that's right. So it
Let me just put
starts
it.
with 125. I think it has information about location and how to get there. So if you've been in KeepCon, please join us. We have a lot of things to share, a lot of new exciting updates from the community and from the new contributors. So please join us. On the KubeFlow Summit, like what I want to say, any maybe questions from the community or any specific topics on the summit you want to talk about?
And do you, so just do you want to, so for people who so there's two different events, right? There's a co-located event that is the Kubeflow
Yes,
Summit, and
I
then there's
think
also some
I got
Kubeflow related
CC back
talks at
into
the
the
main event, right?
meeting.
Yeah, so we have like KubeCon kind of divided between co-located events and the main conference. Main conference starts on April 2nd. The first April is the co-located events. So we have two events related to AI. It's Kubernetes ID and the Kubeflow Summit. On the Kubernetes ID, we also have a few talks related to Kubeflow. If you want to join them, also feel free to do it. Like I was saying, it starts around 9 a.m. But the Kubeflow Summit starts from 1 p.m. all the way to the, I believe, 5 p.m., if I remember correctly. Yeah, but this event requires for you to have like all access pass. So if you have this all access pass, please join our our agenda here.
Cool.
Should be very clear, I think. Yeah. Maybe any kind of questions in terms of logistic or how you can get there from the community?
Should we set up like a channel or something for people to join, or?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. We already have a channel. Let me point it.
Okay, cool. So there's a Slack
Second.
channel. What is it called?
Yeah, it's Kubeflow Summit actually.
Okay, cool. Let me just put that there. If you uh Slack, if you are attending, please join the Kubeflow Summit
Yeah,
Slack
let me
channel.
also link a note here. This one.
Okay, also, just because people always get confused, you can't join the Slack based off that link, so you will need to join based off this link.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good idea to add this channel to the website actually. What do we
Well,
think
I
about
mean,
it?
I mean, I don't know, maybe, yeah, if you want.
Okay.
It's for now, just join this.
Yeah. So just please join this channel if you're attending. Even if you're not attending, but just want to get in touch, please join. We were going to provide updates there. Um, so this is the main coordinating channel for us. Yeah. Anything else I'm missing? Maybe Matthew, Valentina, to talk about on the summit side.
There is a question also on the chat about KubeCon.
Oh, yeah, Hyderabad, right? In 6, 7 August. Yeah, I think it's a good question, Akash. We haven't thought on this, but can you ping me on Slack and we can discuss it more because we need to understand like who actually will go to this KubeCon in India. And I know we have few contributors there. Maybe they're planning to attend. Maybe they can organize something. But we need someone who can drive those initiatives there. The booth, maybe if you want to have the booth or we want to, have the event, would love to, like organize something there.
And also
Sure.
the North American
Yeah.
one as well, we should probably.
Yeah, go ahead, Akash.
Yeah, so I'll ping on or maybe on Slack. I think there was like this message I texted for like KubeCon. There was a local CNCF Hyderabad events happening from last like 2 weeks or something. I'm planning to have some session over there for Kubeflow, what I understood or how I can help others. So again, that is something I can do on personal basis, but I think for KubeCon, maybe again I need support from like you and community. I'll ping on Slack maybe for that.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to tell what exactly support. I think yes, like you need some sort of coordination with CNCF, right? if you want to
Yeah.
drive this.
I
Yeah, that makes sense.
so
Yeah.
you can ping me. I think I can coordinate that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Jono.
Sure. I'll ping you then.
So, so
Thank you.
And especially we should probably talk about, not right now, but once this one's done, we should probably talk about the next North American one as well, because that'll probably have a lot more attendance from community members.
Yeah. I mean, the only
That's in November for everyone in Georgia. Not the country, the state.
Yeah. We already applied for summit there, but we don't know. I mean, attendance. I mean, we cannot guarantee that they're can accept us, but we apply to have a summit there.
Of course, people are obviously welcome to submit talks related to the project, even if they're not
absolutely.
a summit directly. I definitely think that if we're ready for Notebooks 2.0 release, I might do a main KubeCon talk about that, but we'll see. Okay, cool. Anyone else want to add anything about KubeCon? So yeah, please join the Slack channel.
I think
if you're attending, that's the most important thing to take away from this.
Yeah, sorry. I think like one of the most important things was to talk about is the booth.
Okay, cool.
So we need to staff the booth. So we're gonna have the Kubeflow booth in the KubeCon London, and we need people who can actually help us to drive this booth. So I know that Valentin and Chase helping us to onboard some folks in this booth, but we need someone who can be there all the time. Like not every day, but at least like we can split the time between multiple folks throughout I guess like 3 days, which require. So if you be in the KubeCon, if you want to help, even if you just start to understand what is Kubeflow, please let us know so we can you can help us with this booth.
If we don't end up having not enough people, it's fine to like not have the booth open all the time. But yeah,
I think so. Point me if I'm wrong, Valentin, but I think booth is open all the time, right? Right now.
Is it?
Last time that was not the case.
Jonu, sorry, say it again.
Sorry. The last time that was not the case. We had a few hours dedicated to Kubeflow Summit and the Kubeflow one, and then the rotation across the desk during the other times.
I think what you just tried to say, you glitched out, was that you had a rotation of people doing it last time, so you did have it open the whole time. Is that right?
Yeah, like no, I meant the Kubeflow desk. We didn't have the entire day. We actually had rotation for some other project for the same desk.
I think I copy. Yeah, so this is the schedule currently, right? Sorry, let me try to take a look.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so you guys can organize that on the Slack, I think.
No,
so
I think like
do you need someone in this chat or what?
Yes, I think from this call, if anyone will be in KubeCon and want to help, please let us know so we can get you to a specific time. It doesn't mean like you have to be there all the time, but at least partially we can find folks there, right? So just let us know if you'll be in the KubeCon and want to help. That's it.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. Do you want to give a shout out to any talks or anything?
Probably. We have a lot of talks in this KubeCon about Kubeflow. So I mean, I don't know if you wanna. I can list it here.
So we got so the schedule for this. I linked the schedule here, which was for the Kubeflow Summit, which obviously is only about Kubeflow. And then I searched the word Kubeflow, not speakers, damn it, schedule. So these are all the main CNCF talks. Sorry, KubeCon talks that have the word Kubeflow in them. So here are these as well. So, and Andre, you're talking in a couple of these, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think it would be nice to link this URL in the meeting notes.
I did, yeah, I did.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
So like other Kubeflow is like KubeCon talks. Yeah, there you go. Cool, awesome. Anyone else want to say anything else?
Yeah, I want to add the Kubeflow, we were an incredible event. We will have technical sessions and and sessions that are maybe not as technical, that are more community oriented. We are doing a panel, for example, on that will be there. And one of the things that will help you if you're new to the community or if you are part of the community will help you learn more about the community behind Kubeflow, the different roles that you can access, the different people you can connect with, really the depth of the community. So there are really great sessions here to look at. So just, join us, and looking forward to seeing you very soon.
Cool. Awesome. So let's talk about GSOC, because I think probably a lot of people here are interested in GSOC. Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah, thank you much.
Ramesh, are you here? Do you want to say anything? If not, then I'll give a quick overview just so that we can address the. I don't think Ramesh is here. Okay, so just important to note that applications only happen through the GSOC website. Please follow the guide steps at both on the GSOC website and on the website here, our Kubeflow website. So like to be a participant, you do have to sign up as a student on the website. It's best if you reach out in public channels. My recommendation is you start by using the Kubeflow contributors channels if you just want to say hi, which is great. And then if you have a specific project that you want to learn more about, reach out either in that channel for that project or join their community meetings. So the way you can find the channels for specific projects is by looking on the About community page and then looking down for the particular project. Each project sub-project should have a channel. If it's not clear which project is related to the product to the project, then just ask on the Kubeflow contributors channel, I guess, which is again being used as the GSOC kind of home. So does anyone, we won't go too long, but does anyone have any specific questions they want to ask the overall community now, or like things that they need clarified? Yeah, so someone's got their hand up. Seth, Santhosh?
Yeah, okay. Hello. I guess it's tough for you to call my name. I'm Santosh. So let me get to the question quickly. So most of the contributors have this one particular question. Is there any predefined template that is widely accepted amongst the organization which we can follow to raise our proposals? Because earlier today in the chat, a couple of Kubeflow members actually suggested few particulars which have to be mentioned in the proposal document, like your intent or what is the existing system and stuff. So is there any proposal which is in somewhere in the repository or like some proposal? And also can we have access to the last year's proposal which got accepted? It's going to get a bit easier for the fresh contributors to raise a new proposal. That's it from my side.
So GSOC does have suggestions for how to write proposals. So I linked it here. You can just search GSOC proposal guide, and it kind of covers the elements. So it's kind of similar to a mixture of a job application and like a research grant application. Of course, you would need it's best if the first interaction people have with you is not just your proposal, obviously. Like, so it's great to attend the community meetings that are relevant to the project, and hopefully get to know the mentors. The way that so again, just follow these specific things. So technically speaking, you should look at the projects. If you think you can do a project and you would like to contribute that project and work with those mentors, make sure that you apply under that specific project. But again, on the GSOC website, it says here, you got to include your basic information. So because of stuff like this, we can't really show you the last year's applications because they contain like personal information like job history and things like that for people. But so the most important stuff is, why, just think about it as like, okay, it's not a job, but it's like, you've got a deliverable, which is to work on something, explain why you'd be good to work on that. And again, we're not expecting you to be a professional software engineer. In fact, you're not allowed to be a professional software engineer. But just explain, say like, oh yeah, I've worked on this project at university. I've worked on this side project that's relevant. I'm interested in these areas. I've done these things before, I program in Go, I program in Python, whatever, these kind of things. And then hopefully from there you can make a good case. And then what we'll do is, as I don't know if it's on this website, but what happens is once all the projects once all the proposals have been submitted, we obviously review them and then we choose to interview specific people. Of course, we might have already talked to people beforehand if they've joined the community meetings, the working group meetings, or talked in the Slack. So there's a chance we've already met, but we'll definitely interview every single person that we choose to interview. Like we won't be interviewing everyone, but you will have to go through a basic interview to make sure that you actually wrote your own proposal and that you didn't use AI to write it entirely. My recommendation around AI is that you should be careful about letting AI write the entire thing. We're not saying you can't use it, but if it's clear that it was written by AI, you're probably less likely to get chosen for an interview. Yeah, that's kind of the state of the world at the moment. But make sure you understand the topic. It's fine to use AI, but if it's really obvious, then we might be less inclined to believe that you actually understand the topic. If you have specific questions, please reach out on the related issues or again in the community meetings about specific projects. You can apply to multiple projects, but maybe try and keep it to 3 or less. Ramesh, do you want to add anything?
Yeah.
I'd like to add a couple of things. Oh, okay. I
Okay,
guess
yeah,
I'm
sorry.
back.
Do you want to ask one more question?
I'll
Yeah.
just quickly finish my point. Firstly, thank you for this interview point. I mean, I've been active in the Slack channel for like a month or so. I'm seeing a couple of people who are actually giving quite good proposals, and there are like 2 to 3 people contributing for the same project. I've been facing one such situation where one particular project which I want to contribute, there are 2 or 3 other contributors who are giving commendable proposals which are actually pretty good. So I thought, how are you guys going to evaluate which proposal to be chosen? As most of us, like almost everyone who's active in the Slack has been working for like a month or so doing the PRs and stuff. So how exactly are you going to evaluate proposals? Is there going to be an in-person interview or some factors which
Not
you're
in
going
person,
to
no.
take
Like
into
it'll be a
consideration?
video interview. So, but
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah. So like to be clear,
a virtual
it's
presence.
again, there's no, you don't have to have been involved in PRs beforehand. There's no requirement. If you make a good case as to why you should be chosen, and then we agree with it, we're going to accept you. So like, there's a lot of people applying though. You have to understand that. It's like, and we can't accept everyone, both because GSOC doesn't let us accept everyone, obviously, but also because mentoring is like a one-on-one thing, right? It's a thing that we have to want to mentor. Whoever the mentor is has to want to mentor you and has to believe that you're going to be able to deliver the thing that is proposed. So just because you've seen people with great proposals doesn't mean that you shouldn't apply. You should still apply. And at worst, it's good experience to sell yourself, if you know what I mean. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all the points that you made, Matthew. Just because there are good-looking proposals out there does not mean that that's the right candidate we are going to choose. So that's where the interview process comes in, to see what's your community involvement has been till the date, right? What kind of contributions have you made? What kind of interactions, collaborations have you made, right? That's one part of it. Then your skill set. What kind of skills are you building? What kind of right? What have you worked in this kind of area? Our confidence, as Matthew was saying, what is our confidence that you are able to deliver in what you wrote, right? It could be great looking proposal, but if you are not, we figure out that you have not contributed and not able to deliver. As Matthew was again saying, you know we have we have a very limited number of slots that will be given to us from GSOC. So we have to go through these proposals and figure out who fits best for that given project. So yeah, I would not discourage you from applying for it. You can apply to multiple ones, sure, but my recommendation is to pick one or two, not spread yourself thin, trying to see that you are gonna get in one of them versus concentrate on one and make the best efforts you can towards getting there.
And just to be clear, the reason you're writing a proposal rather than a job application, if you will, is because you are going to be self-directed for a lot of it. You know, we'll be mentoring, but like you're going to be in charge of delivering something. It's going to vary by project, but like so showing obviously you shouldn't be writing out in your proposal like exact timelines for things. I mean, you can if that's really what you want to do, but it's more about showing that, you know, oh, I've worked on stuff before, or I know about Git, I know about Go, and I've, you know, done these things. I've maybe made a pull request. Doesn't have to be in Kubeflow, it could be in any project. It's just giving us confidence that because we're only going to meet like once a week, you know, these kind of things, or maybe once every second week once the project kind of continues. So like where the mentors are there to help you, but not do the project for you, if you know what I mean. So that's what we're trying to evaluate on. So think about it from that perspective. Prove that you could deliver something on your own, but with mentoring, if you know, that's the idea. But again, proposal, this is a pretty good information.
Yeah, one more, on that, you know, on the template itself, we don't recommend any particular template. This one looks pretty good to me, in my opinion. Yeah, take it and, you know, fit it to your needs. Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else want to raise any more questions?
I guess I got one more on my plate. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, so this is a joint question for excuse me. This is a joint question for Matthew and Ramesh. I guess you people are a bit experienced in the community. There is one particular case where people are putting up their proposals in the Slack channel, and say, for example, there's a proposal on which X person is working, and I also am working on the same proposal. And I'd love to share my knowledge on that, but people are a bit hesitant to share their knowledge. Is there any tips you'd like to give them? Like, is it good to share knowledge on a single proposal? People often think that they might get overshadowed by the other person if they share their knowledge, and that might turn out to be an advantage for the competitor. So, are there any tips you'd like to give for
In terms of,
collaboration in channels?
just a clarification, in terms of the proposal itself,
Let me
in understanding
uh,
the problem.
let me just give you an example. Let me just give you an example of what happened today or a couple of days ago. I don't remember exactly. So there was this one particular proposal, and an ex-contributor put forth his approach in the Slack channel, saying this is the particular tech stack which I'd like to use, and this is the approach which I'd like to use. Uh, uh, I mean, there are people who are actually working on the same problem statement, and there is a better iteration or a better approach to that particular statement. And okay, let me take my case itself. There was a problem statement in the Slack channel, and I had a better approach, and I was a bit hesitant to share because that might turn out to be an advantage for the other guys. Uh, so, is there anything
Yeah,
which you'd like to say about that?
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this is my view of it, right? You know, you if you want to keep your proposal private, that's fine. But at the end of the day, this will come into the community as an open proposal, right? So then there is going to be a conversation. You know, maybe your mentor will assess a little bit on it, and at the end, and again, it will be discussed in the community at large before even whatever you are proposing is going to be accepted, and that's the direction will be approved upon. Just because you propose something does not necessarily mean that's the direction it will go. It's a little bit depends on your mentor and how they see it, how they fix or the component lead, you know, how they see the overall structure of it. Maybe Matthew, you got any other
Yeah,
suggestions
so
there?
like, so obviously for some proposals, they're kind of for approved projects already, and you're just going to be working on them. In which case, um, it's going to be mainly about your technical abilities and your willingness to learn and things like that. That will determine if you get selected. For ones that are more unique projects, there's a couple of projects on that list that are a little bit like, that are definitely still being discussed by the community, and so. Not to say that we wouldn't accept people who apply under those, but they might not end up doing exactly the project that they apply to in that case if we did. But in most cases, almost all of them are pre-approved already. So like, if you're gonna work on, Spark Operator and work on this, like this is something that the leads at Spark Operator want to work on. So you won't need to like propose to the overall community. You just need to convince them that your implementation is correct, if you know what I mean. That when people who already lead that component. But if you have a particularly awesome idea, this is an open source project, so it's suggest the idea in a community meeting for your people, or maybe raise it in. I understand what you're getting at, because it is obviously a competition, if you will, but in the end, an open source project, you can contribute to the project without being in GSOC. I know that may not be what you want to do, but like it is possible, right, if you have an amazing idea. So.
Yeah, it's the only suggestion I would say is, if you have an amazing idea that is not even in this one of these projects, go ahead and submit the proposal. It is open right now, so actually the community, asking the mentors to submit, review the proposals time is over. Since yesterday, GSOC should be up accepting your proposal. So if you put a proposal in, maybe on the Slack, ask your mentor to look through that and see if that proposal, if they can give any further review on, or if they have time to go through that and give you suggestions on making it better, or if it is a brand new proposal, if they are willing to accept that one as a additional project idea apart from the 10 or 12 we put it on the web page, right? It certainly we can act if it is some of it is a compelling feature you want to trying to bring in. We definitely want to take a look at it and give preference to that project if we think that is worthwhile to pursue beyond the projects what we have listed out. So
yep, just make sure you get your proposals in through the GSOC website before April 8th, because we cannot accept any late projects. They have to be submitted through the website, to be very clear. Yep. The GSOC website.
Right. It's already open, by the way. So I think I suspect that even though you submit it right now, you can keep.
Yes, you can. You can both withdraw your proposal if you choose to not want to continue. You can also update your proposal. Yes.
Yeah. So in that way, you can keep improving that upon on the proposal itself while you are communicating.
And we do see them, to be very clear. We do see them immediately. So don't propose just a random thing beforehand. Like make a real proposal first. Don't just submit spam. Otherwise, we might block it. But
so
if you have a proposal,
yeah, to give a little bit of a perspective, last year we got like 100 plus proposals, or maybe more, and we had to go through and reject them, a lot of it. It does take a lot of time from the mentors. So please do, if you are going to submit, don't just throw something which you have.
Keep it succinct. Okay, like really, really long proposals, that's actually a thing against you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 2 pages. Yeah, keep it to 2 pages, in my opinion. Something really, short and sweet, what you want to do, keep it short. Yeah, that would be
It
great.
should be clear that, you believe and you have the right experience to do something. And again, it's not like we expect you to be a professional software engineer. I just want to clarify that again. Like, this is a mentorship program. Like, it is aimed at people who are new to open source. They don't have to be new to software, but they do have to be new to open source.
New to open source, absolutely a student in a university.
Or someone who's graduated in the last 2 years, yes, I believe.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And
should not be working in a
yeah, if you work for well, again, that's complicated because a lot of students work in part-time kind of jobs, but if you're like a professional software engineer with more than like 3 years experience, you're not eligible. But if you've just graduated, you might be eligible, as long as you're new to open source.
You can even apply a second time to GSOC. I saw it on the mailing list, for example. Yes. So new to open source doesn't mean that you participated in last GSOC, for example.
Yeah, last year's GSOC people are able to apply again, although I think it's likely that we would prefer to accept new people, especially if those existing contributors and involve those old mentor like those students in the mentorship of the new students potentially.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, because obviously we want new people. The idea is to grow the community. But yes, if a particular proposal is so amazing from an existing contributor, I guess we could accept that, yes. Awesome. Okay, any more questions?
I think I just want to add one more point. I don't know if you already mentioned, but even if you don't get accepted, please be in the community, because I think Kubeflow is a unique opportunity for you to understand what is open source and why it is important for your future career. And we have a lot of really good examples how students who didn't get accepted last year, or maybe like they were not eligible, still with us in the community and still contribute. So I just, don't be blocked by this, GSOC submission. Because Kubeflow can give you like a lot of opportunities, literally like in every part of the, like end-to-end product lifecycle. So please be involved.
Yeah, I second and third and plus a million to that. As I was saying, there is GSOC only provides us, at most 10 to, even 15 slots. 15 is probably even stretching a lot. Maybe 10 we got last year, or 9 we got last year. We will see how many slots we will be allocated this year. We don't have any view into that. That's Google completely manages that. But we have many different components and so many different projects in the Kubeflow, and there's so much work in this AI. These are the ones we slated especially for GSOC, but there is lots of other work is happening in the community. So if you are interested, you want to get the same experience of GSOC, but not necessarily get paid, but not get the experience of it. There are willing mentors, who are willing to help you and get there. So even if it is a proposal, then it does not get accepted, come talk to us, or ask us. I know for sure in model registry, which I'm more closely with, we got lots of work happening, and maybe we don't even have a proper project in the GSOC, but we can we have lots of help we need if you want to contribute. So please come talk to us on the Slack channels, and we'll see how we can help.
Cool. Awesome. But yeah, the GSOC thing is great because you do get mentorship, and so like it can be quite challenging to join an open source project if you've never done it before. So yeah, that's the benefit to going through the program itself. But yeah, we do obviously, if you have the ability to contribute otherwise, then we would implore you to contribute because we think it's both good for the project and good for you.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
about it's all about how you are building your resume up in this world, right? When you are contributing to the open source projects, you are building your public resume. As a manager, that's exactly the very first thing I look at it is go back to your GitHub website. I look at the contributions, what they have done. If I see no contributions or something, that's a red flag for me. So I see how a student or a prospective employee has contributed. They say that, oh, I am so interested in AI. I have done this project and that project. And okay, so let me see you where's the proof in the pudding. So I'll go back to the GitHub or their LinkedIn and see what they contributed to. If there is nothing, I mean, that's a red flag for me. So this is a great opportunity to fix those kind of issues, and Kubeflow is ready to take those.
Cool.
We can help get there.
So I want to let's move on to the release update because we do have to cut a release today.
Yep.
So I think I'm the only one blocking the release right now because I need to cut a final 1.10.0 on the Kubeflow repo. I think Julius might have left the chat. Oh no, he's here. So what do you need from us to cut the release?
Yeah, I just joined half an hour late, but I'm still here. I think just Kubeflow needs a final release.
Is that everything else? There's no other things blocking us?
Just a final release. 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 Just a final rele I didn't get any negative feedback. We have migrated Khatib trainer, then Kubeflow/Kubeflow images to DHCR. I migrated most of the stuff in Kubeflow platform. Istio Knative Cert Manager, I think they should be moved. What's remaining is there are still a few images on docker.io, but I think it should be fine, and the remaining ones can be delayed to 1.10.1.
And then also my main concern is around like testing though, not just like making sure that the images apply, but like how much testing have we actually done?
We got the automatic testing from a lot of individual users. This was actually the main testing feedback I got. Then there was also Canonical and Red Hat. And then I can cut RC3 today, and if there are no change, then people can again test. And if there are no changes until the release date, I can just call
Oh
it
wait,
the
so what
final.
were they testing? Were they not testing the release branch? Because the release branch has the changes for
I
Kubeflow
think they were
Kubeflow.
testing the release branch. I told them explicitly, please, the release branch is newer than RC2.
Oh, okay. So again, so I'll cut a final release then. Hopefully, I mean I can make a patch if necessary, just like, but it's like hopefully it's fine. And then you can synchronize that. And then what's our timeline, Valentina or someone else, for final release?
Yeah, we have Ricardo here. Ricardo?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you
So,
repeat?
so we're going to cut an RC today, presumably, for 3. And then after that, how long are we waiting for the final, like for the platform cut again, not for necessarily everything else to be finished, but like, so when do we publish? We also need to finish this blog post as well, right?
Yeah. So a couple things here before we reach final. We need to release RC3 today with all the components cut the releases to final. Finish the blog post, finish the slide deck for the working group liaisons to record a video for the release announcement. I need to prepare the documentation for the release notes. And with that, I would say we can release pretty soon. Probably we can stick to our original plan to release next week. But it all depends on the not only cutting the final release, but also prepare the blog post, the release notes, and so on.
So when are we going to cut the docs branch? Because once we do that, we need to turn off the indexing on the 1.9 branch as well.
That's a great question, Matt. We need to sync up about this because there are the DNS updates as well. I think
I can
you're
do
the only one
those.
who knows that.
Yeah, I can do those. But the also we're
we need
about to merge the dark
create a
mode.
release.
Yeah, it's more like
Yeah.
so again, so remember what we do is we create a snapshot. So nothing once the snapshot exists, it doesn't get updated. So it's a bit confusing because again, the 1.10 snapshot will be for the docs at the release of 1.10, not for necessarily for 1.10. I know it's a bit confusing, but like, because we don't tend to go back and pull request things into the old branches. What I mean by this is up here, you know.
The release notes must happen first, then
you're talking about
a...
these release notes, right?
Yeah, that's right. I need to make that change first, then I'll make the change for the drop down, and after that we can create a branch for 110.
Yeah, so I do have a pull request that will update. So in the same way that when you go to, I think I haven't done it for 1.9, but you know 1.8 now, if you go to any page, it has this warning. It's just this warning code is not updated on the 1.9 branch. I'll need to add it, and then also it needs to be added for
1.9.
Yeah, we need to add it and turn it on for 1.9, and then also we should just merge the code so that it just becomes a true false flag, so that when we cut a new branch, we don't have to merge the code in again. Because also that code as well makes it so that when that flag is turned to true, it sends a please don't index this page to the Google, because right now, like previous to this, we had so many old versions of the website being indexed by Google, which was causing a lot of problems. Now these don't happen anymore. That's solved now. It's just like as part of the code that updated this UI thing, yeah. Anyway, so we should merge that, but we should talk about we can do that at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Also, I think it's worth adding that news tag to the release handbook. I don't believe we covered that. So I'll do those changes. And
So that
then
it's
I
all it
believe
should
we'll
be
be
is just
good.
changing a flag. So like it's not in the future it should just be like enable the archive flag to true for the N-1 release. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah.
we need to document that anyway.
Because like right now, previously we had a huge debate about whether the 1.9 release should also get this. I personally still think it should, but I know that other people feel not differently. So like, see, this 1.9 branch doesn't have a warning, even though, but the 1.8 branch does. Because this doesn't say that it's old. It just says you're viewing a snapshot from the time of that release. And I think people were still a little bit concerned about it. But
Okay.
because like we could do this for the 1.10 branch as well. You know what I mean? Like I know that it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If I have any questions, I'll reach out to you.
Cool, yeah. And also, I guess the question is, we were going to merge this dark mode pull request. I need to finish rebasing it, but and remove one or two of the controversial discussions changes. But I think the overall consensus is that the dark mode PR is acceptable. It's just and the question is, I want to get this released before KubeCon so that we can have the dark mode for KubeCon because it's kind of a cool thing to announce. But Andre, so are you still here, Andre? No, he's not. Okay. So yeah, if anyone has any particular comments about this other than the ones that have already been raised, which we're going to address, we should have a dark mode soon on the website. And anyone want to say anything about that?
Oh, Matthew, do you need anything from me on this? Do I
So
need
this
to
is
review
just
it again, or?
I think it should be fine. The only changes are just like I accidentally made some typos, and I personally still think we should leave this as dark, but I think Francisco didn't specifically agree, but this is the only one which I don't want to change from this, which is I don't want to have that light blue be the title because that looks like a link. It really looks like a link to me.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it's not that big of a deal. The only other change is that they really wanted to have the word Kubeflow Trainer, so I'm going to have to make a square version of this logo that fits so that it doesn't break the front page, because the cards have to be one by one, the image. But that's fine. That's fine. And then I'll also do the same for this, for the new Kserve logo, which weirdly, I also designed that. But anyway, also, I'm going to move this change here into a separate pull request because I've got some bigger updates for these architecture diagrams that I think will be better. And I also just want to highlight the Kubeflow ecosystem updates, which is my first one that I ripped into a different thing. I don't know if anyone's had any specific comments, but please, we're going to probably merge this at some point soon. So if you, I'll just show you the diff, everyone. It's kind of hard to see, but like effectively the left is old, right is new. It's just a little bit more colorful, a little bit more square rather than horizontal here. I think there's some discussion. We've also made it so that Kubernetes is an obvious full layer in itself. We've removed some of the more esoteric components which aren't strictly speaking part of Kubeflow. They're just optionally depending on your distribution. So if someone has any, this is obviously like a really common thing that we should use in the KubeCon talks, like as the overview. So hopefully we can get this merged before next week so people can use it. It also uses updated, yeah.
Yeah, and once you have the document version change thing, let me know. I can take a quick look as well.
Yeah, if you obviously it's on this pull request here 4038 on the website. I think there seems to be general agreement, but it's only really me and Andre and Julius that have talked about it so far.
Can take a look. Yeah, I was referring also to the release documentation.
Release?
Yeah, the one that you were talking with Ricardo a few minutes ago.
Oh yeah, so we do need to do the blog. Yeah, so
Yeah.
what's happened? That's the only one thing I want to finalize here before we talk about your release thing. Ricardo, what do we need to do to get this blog out?
I'm talking to the product manager for the blog post. We'll be moving to a PR until tomorrow. Then we'll need a final review from the KSC members and the working group liaisons, and then we will be ready to publish.
Yeah, in terms of the notebooks one, I think some of this was generated weirdly because like I'm pretty sure the only significant updates for most people are the changes to the new registry and the updates to the example notebook images. There hasn't been any significant changes other than that. because we've been mostly working on notebooks 2.0. Actually, no, okay, some of these are better. Yeah, that's more clean than it was. But yeah, the main changes are like new PyTorch, new CUDA, new whatever else, but cool. Do we have any Spark operator people? Or are we just
We're waiting on updates from them.
okay?
It will be ready soon.
Cool. Okay, awesome. So you're happy that that's going to happen then? Like that's going to happen, you
I'm
believe?
confident with that.
Cool. And the slide deck?
Yeah, the slide deck will be just, we decided yesterday that the working group liaisons will work on changing their slides according to what they want to present. Then they will record a 5 minutes video so we can merge all of them together in a single one. So we will release and publish on the Kubeflow YouTube channel when it's ready.
We should also update
This will
these
probably not happen.
diagrams as well, yeah.
Yeah, we need to do this. One last thing is that
especially this one, which uses the wrong logo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Last thing about this, that the release video will happen after the release, because
of course
we have a tight schedule for the release, and our priority is to have the one-time release first, and then we can finish
that's always the way we do it.
Video.
Yeah, that's always the way we do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like these architect diagrams that I'm splitting out into a separate PR, we can discuss them there, but we should definitely, like, this one's had the wrong logo for a long time. And I've also cleaned up this kind of flow here in my proposal. Like I've made these arrows blue down because this is actually a loop. I've made the black arrows be related to like technical things and this be related to process blue. So I've made it like a blue circle here, but we'll come back to that and once I make that PR. Okay, cool. So that one we'll do later. Anything else that we need for the release other than me cutting that final thing today?
No.
Cool. Okay, Valentina, you got 5 minutes if you want to suggest what you're suggesting.
Yeah, of course. So hello, everyone. So as part of this release, I've been working with Ricardo. I will be the next release manager for the next release. And based on that, I started working on some potential improvements for the next release. We discussed this already on the release meeting, really high level, and with some of you already in the community. What we are trying, so the PR right now is in draft mode because I still need to draft more on the details, how this will be implemented, and so I do need to finish those things. But the high level idea is how we can bring the Kubeflow release earlier into the market. So we are discussing to reduce the timelines instead of releasing Kubeflow every 6 months, but doing by quarter. That will bring more agility within the release process, but also we want to create more structure around the release to have more defined phases as well. If you can, take a look at the PR, which is in draft mode. There is a proposal, all stages, like we have 1 to 8 weeks for software development, and we have week 9 for feature freeze, which could be a week for the teams to finish their features. Then we have 2 weeks for distribute testing and then bug fixing, and then the last week to finish the release and documentation. We also are looking into how we can bring the meetings that we have weekly reduce some of them and move into more asynchronous communication, which really happens kind of organically. But we want to bring back some of that hours into the team so we can all contribute more into the project by doing technical documentation or source code. The other idea is also to bring a new release team that is composed by also similar like a technical oversight committee that is under review. So if any one of you have any comments or thoughts on that, please start adding your comments on the draft PR or on the issue as well. We want to see how some of the release manager responsibilities from the technical decision making is bring more into the community. And also we discussed the Kubeflow platform project as well, how we can help Julius, who's been doing amazing work there within that project, and to have more responsibilities across, other members of the community as part of this release team. The other thing we are looking for is how we can help the working groups with technical documentation by having people who will be joining those teams earlier and help contributing to the technical documentation, which I think is the most probably challenging one. One of the hopes is that by bringing time of the meetings, the idea is to reduce those meetings by weekly, is give that time back to the contributors so they can help in those aspects of the projects. So just so high level is how we can bring more flexibility in terms of the dates, but also more structure that can help everyone, the distributions and the community, to know when the release will happen exactly, so they can prepare, they can be ready for testing or just for the new changes. And then how we can kind of free some time of the meetings and allow teams to contribute more as well. So everything is there. So it's just high level. It's a work in progress. And the idea is just to, try things and, with the idea of the aim is to improve the process. It may not be perfect, but we will go maybe step by step and trying to bring some of these benefits. But of course, the idea with this, me talking about this, is so people in the community, everyone can start thinking about this, start looking at the PR and the issue, and start thinking how that resonates with you and the working groups, especially the liaisons as well, since this will be changing a little bit the role. But yeah, so all good news. We are really looking forward to see how we can improve the process by bringing more value to the community within Kubeflow release. So hopefully this new process can help everyone. And yeah, please reach out if you have any comments. Start looking into the PR. No decisions have been made. This is just a proposal and it's work in progress. So thank you.
Cool. Always good to have proposals. Do you address any of the discussion around support and how long we would support releases for? Because if you're going to release more frequently, what does that mean? Like, we don't have any defined support policy. Also, there's this overarching discussion around, is Kubeflow platform a product of the community, or is it a product of distributions? And what does Kubeflow 1.10, 1.11, 1.12, what does that mean? Like, does it mean, is it just a manifest cut that defines a list of versions, or is it something more? Like, I think this distinction is really important.
Yeah.
The timeline stuff, I mean, making the process more efficient is separate in my mind to the actual timeline discussion, like making the process better is important, but like, it's right now we still haven't got a super clear definition of what even platform is, you know what I mean? So like, it's so like, it's hard to say like we're releasing a new version even right now. It's like, yeah, well, we define that release as cutting the manifests, right? But then the manifests kind of aren't a product per se. They're kind of a raw base of product. So like, I don't know. It's just something to, I just wonder if some of the points to address would be around support. And also, if you want to release more frequently, people are going to need to contribute more, right? Because, so, yeah,
Well, yeah, it has it has downsides, but also gives you the chance, if you didn't finish, you don't need to wait 6 months. Yeah, right. It will be like 3 months. Well, yeah, a quarter, 4 months.
We could also just do like a TikTok kind of thing, where we do like every 4 months, but we do a real release and then a patch release or something. You know what I mean? Like, it maybe.
Yeah, the idea is to have more minor releases as well. So, we can incorporate more frequency.
But I think a minor release is confusing because we're a collection of components that all have their own versions that are all progressing on their own timelines, which is complicated, right? So
yeah, that's true. No, I'm taking notes so I can,
Julius, you wanted to speak, sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we are right now doing with minor releases 1.9.0, 1.9.1. What I had in mind is to get closer to not a rolling release, but just say, this is Kubeflow March 2025. This is Kubeflow December 2025. Yeah, and we release what is there, what is ready, and if someone doesn't make it with new changes, well, it just goes to the next release.
But what do we do if there's no substantial changes between it? And then how do we deal with things like versioning of the internal apps? You know, like Pipelines doesn't, again, they have their own support policies for their own versions. You know, what if they release a version 3? When do we include version 3, for example, you know?
But we that's the amazing thing. If we just release by date, we can omit all of these discussions. If they make it into the next release, it's fine. If they are in the current and already ready, we can include them.
Like the
Otherwise, we have a lot
meaninglessness of the
code
current
changes.
number is quite useful though, because it means that users have to look at what the versions are. You know, like I mean, I guess a date is meaningless as well, but like I don't know. It's just it does make patches slightly harder though, because like if you have a patch version of an older release, but again, what does that even mean if we're just cutting specific times, you know? Yeah. Like how do you go back and patch one on your date approach?
Yeah, I think we are now approaching a state where you can just apply on top. It's becoming stable enough that instead of instead of having a dedicated patch, you would just install a new version, which is slightly newer. I think we are moving to that direction. I would not worry too much. I mean, we can have a branch where we can apply a patch if it's really critical. The branch will still be there, yeah? So you can still apply it. But the general idea is to get rid of most of the release overhead.
I mean, I agree with the principle of the idea, but I feel like even Ubuntu, which does these like 2404, you know, those kind of numbers which are related to dates, they do patches like 2404.1,
Yeah.
0.2.
That's fine. We can also do that. I'm not against it, but keep the versioning, the process as simple as possible. And Ubuntu is doing it that day, for example.
But the thing
They
that
don't think
they
about
provide with their numbers is about support. I think that is that, like when most people are looking at versions, the thing they really care about is how long can I use this tool before I have to update.
Yeah, and I think we could use the same support window as many other Linux distributions. I think for Fedora it's 9 months or 1 year. I have to check for Canonical, but something in the ballpark.
With many years for their 04 releases, but like this is my concern as well, which is like anyway, we've kind of already gone over time, so we'll leave it at this. But yeah, let's talk about it on the issue. But I think I do want to see some discussion around like support timelines and not just releasing more frequently for releasing sake. You know, like we are a tool community, right? We're a group of tools, right? So like those are the things that are actually releasing new versions, but we're cutting a platform release every now and again for the combined set of tools. But I don't know. Okay. Anyone else want to add anything before we close out? It's like we're 5 minutes over, so I will leave everyone to do
I
what they
think
need.
I have posted, Matthew, I have posted a link in the community doc. Can you please open?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we had discussion over that. There was some issue for adding social media icon like Twitter, LinkedIn, everything on the footer as well as on GitHub. We had the discussion before. I think two of the icons were breaking because of the Netlify issue. So in the last, I have mentioned my what I have explored. Basically, we have to upgrade the Doxy version, but that's not possible. I think you mentioned in a PR that we are using a customized version of Doxy. So second option we have is at least out of the four icons, only Twitter, like Twitter the new icon we are not able to use with the existing Doxy version. So one option is we can have a like static file for showing that image on the footer. Like that's the only way out I
Yeah,
can
that's
see
how
as
we do it for other icons. You know, we have lots of logos already, like the Kubeflow logo that aren't technically in any of these
any of
icon
the font
packages.
icons.
Yeah, let's definitely let's try and get the dark mode thing in, and then but yeah, it should like you should just get it to a point where the PR works, right? Like do that. That's fine. Like use the real Twitter logo. That's fine. If you need specific help, I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to give it to you, but like it's yeah, it's if you want to make that happen, then you got to make the pull request.
Sure,
That
sure.
doesn't
I
break
think
the styles.
sure. I The dark mode, you already have a PR. I've tested with that. So
It's done. Yeah. It's pretty much done. But what I'm saying is like, just that's going to be a big style update as well. So make sure it works with that. But the like when you're copying the logo in, I mean, I don't know if this has been updated since the style issue updates that you had. Anyway, I'm going to stop the recording. So thanks for coming, everyone. We can have a quick chat about this afterwards, but thanks, everyone.